What's up, my friends, and welcome back to the Influence Exchange. And if this is your first time here, welcome. I'm really glad you found your way to this show. This podcast is about real conversations, real growth, and real life. We don't pretend to have all the answers. Instead, we share honest perspective lessons learned the hard way and conversations that aim to leave you thinking a little differently after each episode. Before we get into today's topic, I just want to say thank you. Thank you for pressing play. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Thank you for listening on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're tuning in from. I don't take your time lightly, and I mean that. I'm your host, JV, and today's episode is called Vacations Don't Change Your Life, Experiences Do. Now, at first, that might sound a little surprising because most people think vacations are the thing that changes them. We say things like, I just need a vacation. Once I get away, everything will feel better. I need to recharge. And don't get me wrong, vacations are great. They're fun, they're necessary sometimes, they give you a break. But here's the truth I've learned over time: you can go on vacation and come back the exact same person with same habits, same stress, same doubts, same routine. What actually changes you isn't the destination, it's the experience. It's what you do differently. It's what challenges you. It's what forces you to see yourself and your life from a new angle. Think about it. Have you ever came back from a trip feeling clearer than before? Felt more confident just because you navigated something new? Realized you're capable of more than you thought? Or noticed the biggest shift didn't happen on the beach? It happened inside your head. That's what this episode is about. Not escaping life, not running from responsibilities, but expanding yourself. Because sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is step outside your routine long enough to remember who you are without it. Today, we're going to talk about why routines slowly shrinks us without us noticing, how experiences build confidence in quiet ways, the difference between escaping your life and expanding it, and why you don't need a plane ticket to change your direction. This episode isn't about luxury trips or perfect moments. It's about growth, perspective, and choosing experiences that stretch you instead of just distracting you. So, whether you're listening in the car, at the gym, on a walk, or at home, please stay with me. Take a breath, get comfortable, because this conversation might make you rethink what getting away actually means. All right, my friends, let's get into it. All right, my friends, let's start here because this is something a lot of us feel but don't really talk about. Most people say they want a vacation because they're tired, and that's fair. They might be tired of the routine, the same schedule, the same problems, the same stress, the same conversations. We book a trip, we count down the days, we tell ourselves, once I get away, I will feel better. And for a moment, you actually do. You relax, you sleep better, you laugh more, you feel lighter. But then you come home, and within a few days, sometimes a few hours, you're right back where you started. Same thoughts, same pressure, same habits, same version of yourself. And that's when people say, why doesn't this feeling last? Here is why. A vacation gives you relief, not change. Relief is temporary, change is intentional. A vacation removes you from your environment, but it doesn't automatically change how you think, how you choose, or how you show up. And there's nothing wrong with that, unless you're expecting the vacation to do something it was never meant to do. Let me explain it simply. Escaping your routine versus expanding yourself. Most vacations are designed to help you escape. Escape work, escape stress, escape responsibility, but escape doesn't teach you anything. It just gives you a break. Experiences, on the other hand, expand you. They put you in moments where you have to figure things out, you're slightly uncomfortable, you're learning something new, you're seeing yourself handle situations differently. And that's where growth happens. Not when everything is easy, but when your present is something unfamiliar. Why people come back unchanged? A lot of people go on vacation and do the same things they do at home, just in a different place. They might scroll on their cell phones, avoid thinking, stick to what's comfortable, don't try anything new, don't reflect. So they come back rested but unchanged. And again, rest is important, but rest alone doesn't build confidence, clarity, or momentum. Experiences quietly change how you see yourself. Here's what experiences do that vacations don't always do. They show you what you're capable of when you navigate to a new place, talk to people you don't know, try something you've never done, make decisions without your usual safety net. You start realizing I can handle more than I thought. That realization sticks. Confidence doesn't come from relaxing, it comes from doing. Let me ask you something and be honest with yourself. When was the last time you did something new on purpose? Let that stick. I'm going to repeat my question again. When was the last time you did something new on purpose? Not something comfortable, not something familiar, something that stretched you. Because a lot of people aren't bored with life, they're bored with their patterns. Same drive, same conversations, same choices, and over time, that shrinks your sense of possibility. Here's the shift I want you to make. Instead of asking, where should I go next? Try asking, what kind of experience would help me grow right now? Sometimes the issue isn't that you need to leave your life, it's that you need to experience it in a new way. In the next topic, we will talk about how even small new experiences can change your confidence, your perspective, and how you see yourself. Stay with me, my friends. Alright, my friends, now this is where things start to shift. Because once you understand that vacations give relief, not transformation, the real question becomes, so what actually changes a person? And the answer is simple. Experiences that interrupt your normal patterns, not big dramatic moments, not life altering speeches, but moments where you see yourself differently. Let me explain it in a way that's easy to feel. Why experiences stick when vacation fade? When you're at home, life runs on autopilot. Same routines, same roles, same experiences, same version of you. But when you step into a real experience, especially in a new place, autopilot turns off. Suddenly, you have to make decisions in the moment, stay present, adapt, slow down, and connect with people in a different way. And without even realizing it, you start learning things about yourself, not from overthinking, but from actually living. Let me share a real example. Last year, when I traveled to Greece with my friends and family, it wasn't just a vacation. The views were incredible. The food was unforgettable. The photos turned out great. But the real impact had nothing to do with social media. It was the pace of life. In Greece, people don't rush, meals take time, conversations aren't hurried, time feels respected. I remember sitting for lunch with my friends and family. No one was watching the clock, no one was rushing to the next thing, just talking, laughing, being fully present. And I caught myself thinking, why don't I give myself this kind of time at home? That question stayed with me long after the trip ended. Experiences change how you connect with people. One thing that really stood out to me was connection. When you spend time away with people, especially close friends and family, you start to see them differently. You're not stuck in your usual roles. You're not the busy one. You're not the responsible one. You're not distracted. You're just there. I had conversations on that trip that probably wouldn't have happened at home. Not because we don't care, but because everyday life doesn't slow down enough to make space for them. And once you experience that, you realize I don't want connections to only exist on vacation. That realization stayed with me. Experiences can show you a different side of yourself. Here's something people don't talk about enough. When you're in a new environment, you often feel calmer, more open, more curious, more patient, and more like yourself. Then you come home and catch yourself thinking, where did that version of me go? The truth is, that version never left. It just doesn't get much space in your everyday routine. Experiences don't create a new you, they simply reveal who you already are. The confidence that comes home with you is quiet but real. After that trip to Greece, I didn't come back thinking I need another vacation. I came back thinking I want to live differently. I wanted more intentional time with people, less rushing through moments, more presence, and fewer distractions. That's the difference. A vacation makes you miss being away, an experience makes you rethink the way you live. Let me leave you with a simple question, and please answer it honestly. When you think about your last trip, what did you miss more? The place itself or how you felt while you were there? Most of the time, people don't miss the destination, they miss the calm, the presence, the connection, and the clarity they felt. And here's the good news, you don't need a plane ticket to bring some of that back. You just need to be intentional about creating experiences, not escapes. And in the next topic, we will talk about how to create meaningful, life changing experiences without traveling far, and how new ventures, new challenges, and new choices can shift your life just as powerfully as a stamp in your passport. Stay with me. This is where it gets practical. In this part, I really want you to hear. When people hear that experiences can change you, the first reactions are usually the same. I don't have the time. I don't have the money. I can't just get on a plane. That sounds great, but that's not my life right now. And that's understandable, but here's the truth. You don't need distance to grow, you need disruption. Most growth doesn't come from going somewhere far, it comes from doing something different. So, what actually counts as an experience isn't about location, it's about intention. An experience is anything that breaks your routine, nudges you outside your comfort zone, requires your full attention, and that teaches you something about yourself. That could look like starting a new hobby, saying yes to something you usually avoid, having a conversation you've been putting off, trying something for the first time, or taking a risk on a new idea or project. Those moments might not seem exciting from the outside, but they can completely change how you see yourself. Small experiences can still create big shifts. We often think growth has to be dramatic, a big trip, a major decision, or a huge risk. But most growth actually comes from small choices you make again and again. That might look like going somewhere alone for the first time, taking a class where you don't know anyone, waking up early to do something just for yourself, putting your phone away during a conversation, or trying something new and being bad at it. Those moments stretch you, and every time you stretch yourself, you quietly build confidence. New ventures change you because they require commitment. Let's talk about new ventures for a moment. They don't have to be businesses. A new venture could be a personal project, a fitness goal, a creative outlet, or a side interest you've been curious about. What really matters is this: new ventures require you to show up in a different way. They demand consistency, patience, learning, humanity, and problem solving. And through that process, you begin to trust yourself more, not because it's easy, but because you keep showing up. And why experiences build confidence faster than motivation? Here's something worth remembering: motivation fades, experiences add up. Confidence doesn't come from telling yourself, I can do this. It comes from proving it to yourself through action. Every experience, no matter how small, leaves confidence behind. Something you can point to and say, I handled that. I showed up. I didn't quit. And over time, that changes the way you talk to yourself. The real reason people avoid experiences. Let me be honest for a moment. Most people don't avoid new experiences because they're lazy. They avoid them because they're uncomfortable. New experiences come from uncertainty, the possibility of failure, and the risk of feeling awkward. So instead, people choose what feels safe. They stick to routines, they keep things predictable, and while that could feel comfortable, it can also make life smaller than it needs to be. Growth usually lives just outside the habits we protect the most. Here is a simple mindset shift you can use today. Instead of asking, is this convenient? Ask yourself, will this help me grow? Even if it doesn't go perfectly, even if it feels uncomfortable, even if you end up not loving it, it still stretches you. And that stretching is what creates real change. Let me leave you with a real question. No pressure, just honesty. What's one experience you've been thinking about but keep delaying because it feels inconvenient or uncomfortable? Not with a big trip, not something far away, something close, something realistic, something different. That experience might be exactly what helps you see your life and yourself in a new way. And in the final topic, we'll bring this all together with one simple takeaway: how to stop waiting for the right time and start choosing experiences that truly move your life forward. Okay, my friends, please stay with me. Now let's make this practical, because everything we've talked about so far sounds good. But if it doesn't turn into action, nothing actually changes. This last topic is about how to choose experiences on purpose, without waiting for the perfect time, without overthinking, and without turning it into pressure. Step number one: stop waiting for permission. Many people are waiting for something that may never arrive. They're waiting for more time, more money, more confidence, more clarity, or for someone else to tell them they're ready. But here's the reality: no one gives you permission to live differently. That decision is yours. But meaningful experiences don't begin with confidence, they begin with curiosity. And curiosity is more than enough to get you started. Step number two: think in seasons, not forever. One reason people hesitate to start something new is because they assume it has to be with a lifelong commitment, but it doesn't. You don't need to decide forever. You just need to commit to a season. That can mean trying something for 30 days, a few weekends, one trip, one project, or one class. Experiences don't have to be permanent to make an impact. They just have to be intentional and real. Step number three: choose experiences that break autopilot. Here is a simple filter you can use. Ask yourself, does this shake up my routine in a healthy way? If the answer is yes, lean in. Autopilot is where days start to blur together. Weeks feel the same. You stay busy but not fulfilled. Nothing feels wrong, yet nothing feels exciting either. Experiences wake you up. They pull you back in the present. They remind you that life is happening right now, not someday. Step number four: do it scared. Do it imperfectly. Do it anyway. Let's normalize something. Most meaningful experiences begin a little awkward. You might feel nervous, unsure, out of place, or not fully ready, and that's normal. It's not a signal to stop, it's a sign that you're growing. Growing rarely feels smooth at the start. It often feels uncomfortable in the moment and meaningful later. Step number five: measure experiences by your impact, not the outcome. This part matters. Don't evaluate an experience by how impressive it looks, how much money it makes, or how productive it seems. Instead, ask yourself what it taught you, how it made you feel, what it revealed about you, and whether it shifted your perspective. Not every experience gives you a clear answer. Sometimes it gives you clarity, and that can be just as powerful. Let's keep this simple. Here's your challenge: no pressure, no overthinking. This week, either say yes to a new experience or say no to one thing that keeps you locked in a routine. That's it. It can be small, it can be quiet, it can be personal, but it needs to be intentional. Intentional experiences compound, and over time, they reshape how you see your life. Here's the big idea to hold on to: you don't need a brand new life, you need new experiences within the life you already have. When you start choosing experiences on purpose, you stop feeling like life is passing you by and start feeling like you actively part of it. All right, my friends, before we close this out, let's slow down for a minute. This episode isn't really about vacations. It's not about flights, passports, or photos. It's about something deeper. It's about how experiences reshapes the way you see yourself. When you step into something new, even something small, you discover things you never learned by staying comfortable. You begin to see what you're truly capable of, what actually matters to you, what you've been avoiding, and what you've already outgrown. Sometimes the biggest change isn't where you go, it's the quiet realization that says, I'm capable of more than I thought. I'm not stuck as I believed. There's more to me than routine, and that realization is powerful. Let me share something honestly. Some of the most meaningful moments in my life weren't carefully planned. They happened because I said yes when it would have been easier to say no. Because I showed up even when I wasn't completely certain. Because I chose growth over comfort. Those moments didn't change me overnight, but they changed me steadily. They rise what I expect from myself. Here's what I hope you take with you. You don't need to escape your life. You don't need to tear everything down. You don't need some massive transformation. You just need momentum. New experiences creates that momentum. They disrupt autopilot. They bring clarity. They remind you that your story is still unfolding. Before we close, sit with this question. What experience have you been putting off that your future self would be grateful for? Not something dramatic, not something perfect, just something real. Even that one question can start to change how you make your next decision. One last thing before I go. If this episode reunited with you, I love to hear from you. If you had an experience that changed you, if you taken a trip, started something new, or said yes to something that shifted your perspective, or if you're standing on the edge of something new and feeling unsure, you're welcome here. You can reach me anytime by sending me a DM on Instagram or TikTok at the Influence Exchange, or use the fan mail links in the episode description. And if you ever want to come on this podcast and talk about your experience, big or small, I would love to have that conversation with you. Thank you for pressing play. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching on YouTube. Thank you for being part of this space. I don't take your time lightly. Subscribe, leave a review, and remember, your influence grows every time you choose courage over comfort. I'm JV. Stay curious, stay consistent, and keep influencing others. Thank you.